Welcome to the Great Movie Channel Recaps. Today I will show you a dark comedy for 2017 titled To Pigeons. Spoilers. If you are new to this channel, subscribe now. In the city of London, the same works as a very successful real estate agent that has even won the Employee of the Month award. This success this presented in his appearance, which he takes meticulous care of. Every morning he goes through a thorough grooming routine and go to the office. He wears classy expensive suits. This is quite a contrast when compared to his apartment, which is incredibly messy. Blunt are everywhere and dirty dishes pile up in the sink. He can be quite stingy when it's not about his looks to going as far as reusing tea bags. There is one thing Hussein doesn't know, however. There's a Spanish man called Orland living in the wall behind his closet, and he comes out whenever Hussein leaves the apartment. Orland is incredibly thin because he's barely surviving on the food he steals, and he doesn't take much, so his presence is unnoticed. For example, he takes a spoonful of cereal from each box to make a whole bowl. This doesn't stop him from doing all kinds of nasty things, so he uses a saint's tooth brushing his own mouth, uses his towel to clean his armpits and growing, and puts it back without washing it, steals a teacher to wear, uses the dirty dishes, then puts them back on the pile, reads the same book Assange reading and tears off pages to wipe his while he's in the bathroom, and even naps on his back. He only goes back to his hiding spot when Hussein returns. One evening while Hussein is watching a movie, he gets a call from his girlfriend who is coming back from her holiday to live with him and wants Hussein to pick her up at the terminal. Hussein obviously accepts and writes down the information on a sticky note that he puts on the fridge. After he goes to sleep, Olin comes out again and just things like expertly practicing with Assange nunchucks and changing the settings on his alarm clock. Because of this change, the next morning Hussein is late for work and rushes out of the apartment. Orland comes out again and continues to pull his shenanigans. He empties in the toilet the bottle he keeps in the closet to relieve himself, uses his same old tea bags to make himself some tea, and when he uses a little too much milk he refills the bottle with water, changes the sticky note with one written by himself with slightly different information, plays the guitar while singing in Spanish, smoke the pot blunts Hussein has left around, and watches the two pigeons on the window. While doing so he makes a funny voice pretending it's the birds talking it through. This dialogue he reveals some of his past. Once upon a time he had a girlfriend, and when she got pregnant they decided they should find somewhere bigger to live in. When Hussein returns in the evening he finally begins cleaning the apartment to get it ready for his girlfriend. He also causes dealer Sonny, who brings in more pot and tells him about some racism he's gone through while trying to get a job as an actor. After Sonny leaves and Hussein goes to sleep, Orland comes out again, and this time he writes down his saint's credit card information, putting away the little piece of paper safely in his underwear. The following day Hussein finishes cleaning the apartment before he's called by his girlfriend, who is angry because he hasn't come to pick her up on time. The same doesn't understand what happened because he's been following what he wrote on the sticky note, but he rushes out of the apartment to make things right. As soon as he is out of the door, Orland's shenanigans begin. He uses the mouthwash, but instead of spitting into the sink he spits it back into the bottle changed into clean clothes and tosses the dirty ones under the bed and makes a trail of crumbs on the floor. This time when doing the voices for the pigeons he mentions he and his girlfriend had been looking at an apartment in London that was small and very expensive, but a very nice agent convinced them to give it a chance anyway. He also leaves the window open. When Hussein arrives with his girlfriend Mel, they find the pigeons inside the apartment. After eating all the crumbs they relieve themselves on the saint's favorite chair after he gets them to fly out the window. While wondering how it got opened in the first place, Mel takes a look at the cupboards and scolds Hussein for his lack of real food and being so stingy as to reuse tea bags. She goes out for groceries, and later in the evening she cooks a real meal instead of ordering takeout like he often does. Hussein does like the pasta she makes, but dinner ends up being an awkward affair when they argue about the grocery money. After they go to bed, Orland disconnects the saint's phone from the charger. In the morning Hussein brings breakfast in bed for Mel as an apology for the previous day and promises her to take her somewhere nice later. Orland hears all this while relieving himself in a bottle. The couple goes out in the evening after discussing the changes Mel wants to do to the apartment, and Orland decides to go all out tonight. He takes a bath and wastes a lot of shampoo, shaves armpits with the saint's face razor, makes himself some pasta. It's a new clothes, cuts one of Hussein's ties, throws his saint's diamond type in the toilet. Those are various bottles of grooming products with bleach and other cleaning products, and spits into the mouthwash. When he's done he takes some cookies and a glass of milk with him to his hiding spot right before the couple comes back, and he enjoys them while listening to them arguing again, which ends with Mel leaving Hussein alone in bed. The next day Hussein starts noticing his body isn't feeling so well and argues with Mel again when he can't find a stipend. Orland comes out after they leave. It almost gets caught when Mel comes back because she's forgotten something, luckily for him hiding among the closet close enough not to be noticed, and she's in a hurry. Then he comes out again in a new series of nasty pranks begin. He blows his nose with Mel's panties, searches for adult movies on Mel's computer, and has a little moment to himself when playing the guitar. He also also watches the pigeons again, and their dialogue this time reveals that the apartment he and his girlfriend had chosen was given to a better offer after they had already signed the contract and paid the deposit. They also had already given their notice to their previous landlords, so they would have to talk to him to be taken back or they would end up on the streets. But they couldn't stop worrying about the baby. Days passed and the couple gets in more and more arguments caused by Orland shenanigans. The same thinks it was Mel that cut his time, disconnected his phone the other day, and Mel thinks he's the one that watched adult movies on her laptop and came on her panties. Both of them obviously denied the other's accusations, even commenting how ghosts couldn't possibly watch adult movies on the computer after they go to sleep. Very apart from each other, Berlin takes the chance to take a huge jump in the toilet and doesn't flush in the morning. This causes another argument. They blame each other for the surprise in the toilet, and Mel also thinks Hussein has been using her shampoo. This time their fight escalates to the point where Mel decides to break up with him, telling him to go to work and promising she won't be there when he returns. Orland comes out as soon as Mel is gone, incredibly happy at this turn of events. Today's pranks include cutting his nails and hiding the toenail.